Hello guys, this is Oroth and a warm welcome back to my channel. Today I want to showcase a new DRUID dungeon build that I've had great success with. And I've been playing around quite a lot. Maybe this is not the perfect setup, but I've been doing very well with this one. And I know that a lot of people have struggled with dungeons, so I wanted to release this one as soon as possible. And let us first take a quick look at the skills I'm using. In the primary slot I use Ferocious Strike. In the first skill slot I use Summon Grizzly. In the second skill slot I use Thorn Armor, in the third skill slot I use Summon Wolves, and in the fourth and final skill slot I use Werewolf. Let us also take a quick look at the sets I'm using. I'm using 4 pieces of V2 Surge, both for beneficial effect duration and also increased attack speed, and on top of that I use 4 pieces of Grace. There are alterations to this build. You could try out to use 4 pieces of Agmet as well, because burn effects is very important with this build, and it's possible that the Agmet can perform just as well as the Grey set, but against the boss it feels like the Grey set is performing a little bit better. Let us also take a quick look at the essences here. So in the helmet slot I use the Yawning Maw, and what this does is that it will summon a grizzly that is on fire. And what's important about this grizzly bear is that it has an aura around it. It means it doesn't have to attack the target to inflict burn effects. So let's summon this grizzly bear now, for example. And you can see now that there's an aura around the bear with fire. So any enemy in this area around the bear will get burned. This is a little bit different from the fire wolves, for example. They do not have an aura and they have to attack the target to inflict burn. And their attacks are quite slow, so the fire wolves are not as good as the bear, and you will understand why when we look at the other essences. If we continue and look at the chest piece, I use Coat of Fecundity, and what it says is that Thorn Armor now creates an area of thorny vines that follows you, continuously damaging nearby enemies, infecting them with smolder seeds, which explode if the infected enemy is burning. So this is very strong for a dungeon, and let's take a look here at the effect on the skill page and let's see what it does. So that's also a tip, you can always go here to the skill page. There would often be a lot of information that you can't find on the essence text. But here it says that Thorn Armor now creates an area of thorny vines that follows you for 6 seconds. And nearby enemies are dealt damage every second, and they are also affected with smolder seeds for 3 seconds. Burning enemies consume their smolder seeds in a fiery explosion, dealing damage to nearby enemies and burning them. And this means that when we are inflicting smolder seeds to a huge group of monsters, there will be tons of explosions going on. And we can see here that this smolder seed can only be applied to a target once every 2 seconds. But if we apply it to 10 targets at once, there will be 10 explosions, and all of those explosions will also deal damage to all the other monsters nearby. So there's like a chain reaction that's very powerful. This means that we will be able to clear out packs in dungeons super fast. And even if we only apply burn effect to one of the targets, this explosion will also spread burn effects, and if it hits a target that has the smolder seed effect on it, that target will also explode. So super powerful, and yeah, we will see this dungeon build in action, of course, later on in this video. If we continue here, we can take a look in the shoulder slot, and for the moment I use the shoulder called All Our Prey, and what it says is that while we are in werewolf form, we will deal extra damage to any enemy, and this will be reduced for each nearby ally. So if there are a lot of party members nearby, it will reduce our damage a little bit. Often when we use the werewolf in the beginning, we can rush far ahead, and a lot of times we will not be nearby to any allies, but of course in a boss fight this can be an issue. You can also try out this other shoulder, let me show you. It's called Brace Bark, and what it says is that while you are a werewolf, you will deal extra damage against any enemies who has a continual damage effect on it, and that will be constantly using this build. So it's possible that that one might work a little better in some situations. I haven't found it yet, so I couldn't try it out. But yeah, you can play around with both, and both will probably be fine. If we continue and take a look at the pants here, they are called Thrive Greaves, and what it says is that Rend and Tear now consumes 5 primal power, and it will increase the critical hit chance. Also the awakening effect will increase the damage of Ren and Tear a little bit. And here I have to say that I don't really need the critical hit chance, but when I play this build for the skill rotations, I like to consume the primal power while I'm in the werewolf form, because it's just a little bit smoother, and you will see that when the build is in action. Because yeah, when it jumps out of werewolf form automatically because it runs out of primal power, thanks to this essence, all the skills and the cooldowns are more synchronized the way I want it. So it's a little bit complicated to explain. But of course, here there are other options that you can use as well. Perhaps there is a version where you, instead of summon wolves, use rabid might. And then you have to use this pants. Let me show you. It's called Ald Abundance. And what this does is that it will also increase the damage of your primary attacks based on your current primal power. So these pants will probably be super strong for burst damage, especially against the boss. But I have not been able to find them yet. So that's why I use this pants. But I expect that this Ald Abundance will work a little bit better, and in that case I would switch out the wolves. In the first mainland slot I use Rattling Shell, and what it says is that summon wolves also increase your movement speed by 20% for each active wolf companion. This is very neat because I will always have 2 wolves up, so I will always have 40% movement speed. I could, as I said, switch out the wolves for rabid might, because when I'm in werewolf form I will gain 30% movement speed. So it's a little bit slower, but I do believe that the rabid might will be very strong to kill the boss super fast. If we continue and take a look at the first offense slot, I use Goring Brace. And what it says is that Ferocious Strike generates an additional 6 primal power when hitting an enemy, and this will upgrade a little bit the further I increase my Essence Mastery. But this can also only occur 1 time every 3 seconds. And this essence is not really important. I'm not using the normal primary attack that much, but if we take a look here at the replacements, there are not really anything that I can use. If we go here to Ren and Tear Werewolf, there are many different options here, but I can only use one of them at a time. And we're gonna see that on the second main hand, which one I'm using. In the second main hand slot, I use Loam Skull, and what it says is that Werewolf now wreathes you in fire when you transform, damaging and burning nearby enemies and causing explosions of flame when primary attacks critically hit. So yeah, this is basically just another fire aura around me as a werewolf. So I will have both this aura and the aura from the Grizzly Bear that will inflict burn effects. And that will work super well then with this Thorn Armor that also has quite long range. And what's good about this Thorn Armor is also if I go into werewolf form, you can see that it's still active. So it syncs very, very well. And whenever I come out of a werewolf form, I can just reapply the Thorn Armor again. But I'm gonna show you a little bit the skill rotation a little bit later in this video. Finally, in the second offense slot, I use Distant Hissing, and what it says is that Ren and Tear now slashes with both claws, unleashing a claw wind at enemies in front of you. If burning enemies are close to you, the range and damage of the claw wind increases and it knocks back enemies. So let's now take a look first. If I go into werewolf form here and I want to use this, now I have a burning enemy close to me. This means that the range is quite far. But let's say if I summon this Grizzly Bear to get some primal power, and then I use it again, and now I don't have a burning enemy near to me, you can see that the range is a lot shorter. And this skill actually deals a lot of damage, and I can spam it quite fast when I'm in a huge pack of mobs, and I can kill them off super fast. Not only thanks to this skill, of course also thanks to the smolder seeds that are applied to the targets. But yeah, I really like the essence here. Maybe there are other choices as well, but I've had most success with this one. Let us of course also take a quick look at the legendary gems, and here you can feel free to play around a little bit. I use Bloodsoaked Jade for damage, Roiling Consequence for critical hit chance, Fervent Fang for damage, Blood Flow for damage and critical hit damage. I use Colossus Engine for a lot of damage. Yeah, Spectre Glass for damage, Pain Claws for damage, and Bottled Hope for damage and cooldown reduction. So yeah, you can see the point here. I go full in on damage gems. But let us now talk a little bit about the concept of the build. And yeah, before doing that, maybe I can also show my Paragon here. I use this slinger tree. It's possible that I could maybe utilize this harbinger as well, but it's a little bit complicated and it feels a little bit easier to play this Paragon. But feel free to experiment here as well. But let's now explain the concept of this build. So what you want to do is that you enter a dungeon and then immediately you summon the grizzly bear and you use thorn armor, and then you go into werewolf form, and then you can start lunging to where you want to go, and then you can start attacking, and you can see your grizzly bear will come with you and you will deal tons of damage in this area. And after some time you will run out of primal power because you will use these Rend Tears, and then as soon as you go out you can summon the grizzly bear, use thorn armor, and also click summon wolves to gain some more primal power and jump right back into werewolf form. What's also good to mention here is that you can also keep track of this circle. Now the thorn armor was over, I can just exit the werewolf form, and then I can use thorn armor again and jump straight into werewolf form. So please pay close attention. And what's good about the skill rotation, and this was a little bit what I was mentioning about the pants, is that when I begin the dungeon and I use the grizzly bear, so let's try that. For example, I use the grizzly bear, I use thorn armor, and then I jump into werewolf form. As soon as the thorn armor runs out, I'm gonna exit the werewolf form, I'm gonna click thorn armor and enter back in again. And the second time I do this, that's when the bear disappears. So it's a very nice and neat skill rotation, because now when I go out I can summon the bear, I use thorn armor, I use summon wolves, and then I go back into werewolf form, and then I can just repeat this process. So I will constantly have the bear up, I will constantly have the thorn armor up, and I will almost constantly be in werewolf form. So it's super efficient. And yeah, I mean, I think I explained the concept here for you now, so let's dive into some dungeons, and I'm gonna run them solo just to showcase how effective it is and that the damage output is actually very good. But remember, now I'm at Essence Mastery level 2, and I have 2 more levels to go until it's maxed, and when I reach that I'm gonna deal a lot more damage. So even at Essence Mastery level 2 I still perform very well. So yeah, let's dive into some dungeons and have a look. And yeah, you probably see already that I changed my mind. First I'm gonna showcase a run where I have some teammates, so this is just like a random dungeon run. And look now, when these monsters are spawning, how much damage I'm dealing. It's actually crazy. I deal the same amount of damage here almost like I do with my other dungeon builds with other classes. Yeah, I'm really happy, and this works a lot better than I expected at this low Essence Mastery. And what's also surprising me a little bit is that the damage output against a single target is actually also quite good. This boss will die off very fast, as you can see. The burst is really crazy, and I'm quite sure that, as I mentioned, with the Rabid Might instead of the Summon Wolves, when I find those pants, it will probably be even stronger. So I was a little bit worried that I was not gonna be able to run dungeons efficiently until I was leveling up my Essence Mastery to max, but I feel quite confident now that anyone can run this build and be very impactful. So this is going to be very fun. And what's also nice about the build is that it's actually super fun to play, because there's a lot of things that you do at once. You have to focus and do the skill rotation correctly and not die, of course, like I did there. But yeah, I'm actually very surprised how fun it is and how smooth it actually feels to go in and out of the werewolf form. And it's quite easy to recharge all of the primal power as well, because the grizzly bear gives a lot of primal power when you use it, and also the thorn armor, and you have this little extra buff from summon wolves as well when you use it, or if you're gonna use Rabid Might, that will also give some primal power, and it just feels good. And we can also do this here. You can see me lunging forward, and it's just a good feeling when I play this build. And of course, as I said, there might be other versions or other types of archetypes that works better than this, but so far this is the best that I've managed to come up with. And yeah, I can run dungeons like normal again, and I can even hold my ground and deal just as much damage as other strong players with maxed essence mastery, that also has a build that they have been playing for a long time. So I'm very pleased, and I also think that you guys will think this build is very fun, because you have the bear, it's super beautiful. You have the werewolf form, also very beautiful, plus you have this AoE effect. So if you think about it, we're actually using all the different tools in the druid toolbox. We have a summoner, we have a transformation, we have some elements around us. So it's like we are morphing all of the concepts of a druid into one single build, and that's also what I like. Because it feels very refreshing, and it doesn't feel that repetitive when I play it over and over again. So I hope that you liked this video, and that it was clear and pedagogical, so that you understand what to do. I will release more druid content going forward, of course. If you have any ideas or any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'm gonna try to answer all of your questions. And yeah, let's just enjoy this last half a minute of this dungeon run before we say goodbye. Because we also want to see now, when I run it solo, maybe it can show a little bit better the single target DPS, because now I don't have any teammates. So let's see here now at the boss what we can do. And yeah, let's fast forward here until the boss spawns. So Grizzly Bear, Thorn Armor, Summon Wolves into werewolf form, and then I'm just gonna start smashing it. And you will notice that this build excels, especially when it's AoE damage, but also now we can see the damage we do right now. When we activate everything, we will deal quite good damage as well to the boss single target. So yeah, try out the Rabid Might as well, it might work even better against the boss. But yeah, I'm satisfied with this one. So good luck, have fun, see you guys later, have a nice day or a nice evening wherever you are. And of course, to all of my clan members and Nyx, I would also like to say Vork Nyx, Shalak Sol. So, bye bye!
If a boy or if a girl subscribe to Orof's channel, let him take you to his world. Subscribe to Orof's channel, the best choice you will ever make. Subscribe to Orof's channel, hit the bell, a piece of cake. Subscribe to Orof's channel. Come before. Let me tell you one more time. Subscribe to Orof's channel. All the answers you will find if you subscribe to